I'm so happy you guys got in here. This is another CatCast, probably episode 4, I believe, and I am so thrilled to see you guys. Welcome, and how are we doing? God bless, and things are topsy turvy right now in political land, but we're going to get through it. You can see a red wave tsunami is definitely coming. I want to thank all my friends at Twitter and Instagram. I am starting to paste on Facebook, and I am definitely fired up about Rumble. Um, let me just get right into the web I have here. This is my fight for transparency. The big cat. Pardon me for a second while I get a sip. My Aquafina. We are doing great. We are doing great. In my notification or messages here, as usual, I always point it out. You got the cheetahs room for no wokeness. All right, no mail drop boxes. Term limits. That's a beautiful thing there. You can see up here. My beautiful friend. She's right there. I'm following her. Bad girl. I love you dearly. She put out a nice little object here. But in the term limits room, it's obviously we're fighting that Congress should have term limits. You know, get in there 1 or 2 terms. Earn it, definitely with a good vote, but do your job. And if you do a great job, look at what you have a legacy already for the next one coming up. You know, the next man or woman that steps into your political shoes has something. It's a great way for the wheel to turn, sort of say, to get America back in line with truth and love, and the mainstream media, which is beating us up all day long. I have so many things to talk about. I'm keeping these short. My good buddy Dave says keep it short. Kiss method. Keep it simple, stupid. And sometimes, I get to talking. But yeah, the term limits, and it's also against the evil teachers' unions. All right, and finally, where we started was the voter ID room, and right here you can see everybody's just throwing information out there, showing some love and support. But I started the voter ID room about a year and a half ago, and right now Dave, Leah, and I are just trying to kick some butt with all the people that are in the rooms we have. And of course, if you go back to my home, this is where it all started. It's where it all started. I also want to give I want to give the truth where you have to also do some research too. Okay, um, if at all possible, when I leave the links, rewatch anything I show you or get in the loop of it and definitely check it out yourself and spread the word. Drop a comment in here. I could say, what do you prefer, hot dogs or hamburgers? Well, tell me, what do you want, hot dogs or hamburgers? Do you want voter ID? Do you want it free? Drop a comment here. Wherever I lay this and drop it in, you drop a comment for me. Eventually, I will be going live too, so that's pretty cool too. Um, so let's get back. Let's get back. Let's get back to work here. All right. My thing is with Liz Chaney right now, and take a listen. These guys are great. I'll let you hear who they are, and you tell me.
Many Republicans vehemently dislike Liz Cheney, and it looks like the Republicans in her home state are just as opposed to her remaining as Congresswoman. It looks like it's time for a breakup, if you ask me. This is
You
not
see?
going to last.
You see?
It's not you, Liz Cheney. Trust me. It's not. It's not. It's us. It's us. We can't do this
It is
anymore.
us.
We hate our rhinos. The
Well,
NexusNetwork.com reports
I'm not sure
Republican
about the
Representative
hate.
Liz Cheney.
Of course, like I said, I want truth and love, but there is in our party there is a split that's coming, and I believe Liz Cheney is the actual showing of our hand already. We are going to clean house.
Chaney announced her re-election bid on Thursday, and according to polling, she has an uphill battle to win her incumbency.
See that?
Some things have to matter, Chaney said in her announcement video. American freedom, the rule of law, our founding principles, the foundations of our republic matter.
And I wish
What we
she
do in this
stuck with
election in
that.
Wyoming matters, and I'm asking for your vote because this is a fight that we
The foundations of our republic matter. What we do in this election in Wyoming.
Look at her. That's the look of somebody that just knows it's over.
And I'm asking for your vote because this is a fight.
You ain't going to get it. Wait till you hear the numbers. You know, I don't believe every poll.
Showed Chaney down by 30 points to Wyoming attorney Harriet Hagman. It was carried out by conservative group Club for Growth, who plans to oppose Chaney in the election. And the polls conducted this week by WPA Intelligence, headed by pollster
There he is.
Hagman, who was recruited and endorsed by former President Trump, received 56% support, and Chaney received 26% in the GOP primary poll.
She's done. She's cooked.
12% and 6% of GOP voters were undecided. Club for Growth has opposed Trump in other races, but they align with the former president and
She's
ousted
cooked.
Chaney from office. Club has not endorsed Hagman at this point. The city chose to try for re-election cycle, while her only other GOP comrade on the January 6 House Select Committee, Adam Kinzinger, chose to retire.
Gone.
It was likely that he would have seen similar polling.
He knows
This
it's over.
information comes right after the news that Chaney had been diagnosed positive in a test. She was jabbed and boosted and discussed in a statement to the press this week. Now, Trump is flying to Wyoming this Saturday to hold a rally for Hagman so that she can oust Chaney.
You know that's going to be completely the nail in the coffin when Trump shows up. 45 is going to nail the coffin for this woman. What a legacy.
Chaney will have a large war chest going in her race and will be able to stand up to attacks on the airwaves. She raised $2.94 million in the first quarter of 2022. She also fundraised $10 million total and has $6.8 million on hand as reported April 11, 2022 in Puerto
All right. So if that's not showing you, that the red wave is starting already, look, like I said, look at the polls. Don't always believe the polls, but it's basically a really, really good situation for us. It is, once one goes over the cliff, others will follow. Now, maybe not quite for 2022 midterms, but it's a start. And then between November and 2024 election, it's going to be red hot, super hot. So anyway, that's enough of Chaney. Let's move on. All right. Now this, oh my goodness. Let me show you. Let me show you this. This here is stunning. Now, one of my favorite people to watch is Tim Pool right here. So I'll put, as usual, I'll put it in the. This is just a shot from his show, but I want you to check this out. We'll get into it.
And it's from May 17th. Just something to kick things off. Prosecutors say Clinton campaign lawyer tried to manipulate the FBI. Russia tip at first Durham trial opens. So we've heard a lot about this. The trial of Sussman, Michael Sussman.
You have to watch Tim Pool. You have to.
What's the elevator pitch on this story for people who aren't familiar with what's going on right now?
All right, let me give you the triangle, and the quick and dirty is, it's all up for free at DurhamWatch.com on Fight with Cash. You could literally get everything I'm about to tell you.
Cash is the man.
You can read them yourself.
This guy here, follow him.
And everything over at DurhamWatch.com.
He was a
Here's the
Trumper.
triangle, okay, right? Democratic Party under Hillary Clinton.
Actually worked on both sides, but listen.
Okay, we are going to do a couple of things. We are going to run two lines of effort to take out then candidate Trump. We are going to use the FBI to do it. We're going to use the media to do it, and then the Hillary Clinton is going to be the third piece of that triangle, their campaign. So the Steele dossier, we've talked about that in the show before. The hired help from overseas, the filtering.
And let me just say, he in this next 2 to 3 minutes, 4 minutes, is absolutely showing you the whole thing. Now, he worked with was it McCarthy? I'm sorry, I forget, but he might even say it in here. But just check this out, because he just is. Cash lays it straight up. Check it out.
Unverified information to the FBI knowingly lying to a federal court to surveil Donald Trump, and of course the Hillary Clinton campaign funded that entire thing. We know that. We proved that in the Russiagate investigation. John Durham.
Why aren't they getting in trouble?
After this one,
I'll tell you.
The Danchenko case he's trying in the fall. is the Christopher Steele source, the takedown of that line of effort 1. Line of effort 2 was the Hillary Clinton campaign on a parallel track running, let's just call it the Alpha Bank server deal, right? Because it's easier to quantify.
With Russia.
That's what Sussman's on trial for. Michael Sussman was one of the head lawyers for the Hillary Clinton campaign at this law firm, Perkins Coie, right? Hillary Clinton campaign paid them $50 to $100 million for services. They took that money and doled it out to people like Fusion GPS, Christopher Steele, and the Alpha Bank server. This parallel track, what are they doing on this? They said, okay, the Steele dossier route isn't enough, we need a backup. So they went out and hired this tech guy, Rodney Jaffe. Okay?
Wow.
And basically said, we need you to go find a connection between Trump and Russia. And here's what we want you to do. Get technical, get us computer details that show Trump Tower is connected to Russia through this bank, right? So,
I mean, they're planning. They are planning. Like, behind the scenes, like he said, in a trifecta. Let me just give a little help with the music. All right, there we go. So we're back. He's just telling you in bullets right now on what this whole mess was in 2016.
So they're fabricating a narrative.
Literally. And what's come out in this trial is exactly that. The information was taken to the FBI, and the FBI said the next day they knew it was false. That's what the agents testified to.
See? And this is all recorded, man.
Well, Russiagate should have stopped, but it didn't because you had a
Tim Pool, you did good here, brother. Cash.
Strzok, this high guy, who were running the whole thing. But not only were they running it internally, they were running it with the media. What came out in this trial is all these guys at Michael Sussman.
Watch this. Listen.
Hillary Clinton, they were all meeting with the media. They were sending Christopher Steele to meet with the media. They were sending Rodney Jaffe to meet with the media. Why? Circular reporting. The FBI is like, oh, look what CNN's publishing. Must be true.
There you go.
We have a source that says that. Here's the kicker of the whole thing. Both Christopher Steele and Rodney Jaffe, FBI sources. The entire time. And they both got fired. Why? For leaking to the media. But here's what the FBI did. They kept taking their own time to prosecute their case.
They're not in trouble. They're not going to get in trouble. If they get in trouble, it's huge.
It's the biggest criminal enterprise in U.S. history, from my perspective as a former federal prosecutor.
Boom. So there, watch this. Go watch the whole show. But this is just a segment of it, I believe. Let me see. Yeah, this is just a 15-minute. They pulled this out and dropped it. But you have to watch it, man. You have to watch that and spread it. Join Tim Pool and watch him when he comes on. He's probably in the top, for me, I mean, in my opinion. I got Scott Adams, who balances me out. I got Lionel, who colorfully, he really likes to be colorful as far as the way he gets his message across. So you look for Lionel. I'll see if I can find him and drop it in there for you. And then, of course, Dave Rubin, amazing. Even Ben Shapiro. And guess who else is starting to... I used to love Bill Maher years ago in the HBO years. But then he got a little bit like the woke spokesman for about 5-6 years. But let me tell you, he's absolutely... I don't know if HBO is going to cancel. I don't know what's going to happen to him, but I've never heard him speak so well. This is the difference, though. He's not doing it like with just him and a camera and a little podcast. He's saying it in front of his audience. So that's huge for me. That's real big. So I'll put all that stuff in there. And, the one thing I want to do, too, is I need to give a shout out. And, I guess who I'm going to start with, right? Wendy, or she goes by Wen Mama too, I believe. Wendy is just I want to also end with Code of Vets, Gretchen, at Code of Vets on Twitter. You gotta check her out too, because I'm a huge supporter of our vets and our first responders. And patriots, they lift up patriots. And if you can get out there, because they've fought for our freedom, they're going to fight for our freedom, and they've died for our freedom. We just got through Memorial Day weekend, and I really, really I went to World War II on YouTube. I went to Korean War on YouTube. I went to Vietnam War YouTube. I went to Afghanistan. I checked it all out just to remember how much all these men for generation and women, I watched the WASPs, WASP, the first women to fly planes. Absolutely pure freedom. So follow Wendy. Follow Wendy on Twitter, my buddy, and definitely check out Gretchen at Code of Vets. I love her too. She probably doesn't know me as well, that's for sure. But I always put a link in there for her. And make sure there's one thing you can do for me, and that is kiss, love, hug a veteran. They do it for you. They'll die doing it for you. All right. Take care.